In this video, we are going to review how to conjugate verbs that end in the letters ER and IR. We've already seen this pattern when we did the verbs that ended in AR, and we're going to follow the same 2 steps to conjugate these verbs. So first, let's talk about what are those steps. The first thing I'm going to do when I see any verb in Spanish is I'm going to say adios to the ending or the last 2 letters of my verb. After I do that, I've got to say hola to the new endings. And I'm going to know what those new endings are based on the ending of the verb itself. So let's take a look at what those endings are. Let's first start with our ER verbs. So after I say adios to the ER of my verb, I'm going to look at my chart. If I want to say yo, it's going to end in the letter O. In the to form, it's going to be es or es. With usted, it's going to be e, él, ella, ella, e. So you'll see these all share the same ending, which means I cannot forget to put my subject of my sentence with them. Nosotros is going to end in hemos. Vosotros ends in es. And again, remember to put your accent over the letter E. That's very important. And then I have ustedes en, ellos en, ellas en, ellas en. So the same thing with my ustedes, ellos, ellas, and ellas form. They all share this same ending, so make sure you put your subject. Let's take a look at what this looks like with a verb. So my verb here is correr, to run. So first I said adios to that ER, and then I added my endings that we saw in the last couple of slides. And I get yo corro, I run. Tú corres, you run. Usted corre, you formal run. Él corre, he runs. Ella corre, she runs. Ella corre, they run. Nosotros corremos, we run. Vosotros corréis, y'all run. Ustedes corren, you guys run. Ellos corren, they run. Ellas corren, they run. And ellas corren, they run. So again, to get my verb in this chart, I said adios to my ER and added my new endings to my verb. Let's take a look at what happens if instead of my verb ending in ER, it ends with the letters IR. If I'm talking about yo, something that I do, it's going to end with O. Tú es. Usted, él, ella, ella, Because these all share the same ending, make sure you put your subject. Nosotros, imos. Vosotros, is. Ustedes, en. Ellos, en. Ellas, en. Ellas, en. And again, all of these share this en ending, so I need to make sure that I put my subject so I know who we're talking about. Let's take a look at an example of an IR verb in this chart. We're going to look at the verb abrir, to open. So step 1 tells me to say adios to this IR, and then I am going to say hola to my new endings. So I get yo abro, I open. Tú abres, you open. Usted abre, you open. Él abre, he opens. Ella abre, she opens. Ella abre, they open. Nosotros abrimos, we open. Vosotros abrís, y'all open. Ustedes abren, you guys open. Ellos abren, they open. Ellas abren, they open. Ellas abren, they open. So again, I said adios to my IR and hola to my new endings. Now you may have noticed that some of these endings look kind of similar to the endings we saw a little while ago with my ER verbs. Let's take a look at what is the same and what's different. So here are my endings for my ER verbs. O, es, e, hemos, es, en. Now let's take a look at my IR verbs. O, es, e, hemos, is, en. What forms are the same? Let's compare. Yo, I've got o and o. Those are the same. Tú, es, also the same. The usted form, usted, also the same. Nosotros, hemos, that's a little different. Vosotros, is, that's also different. And then ustedes, en, that's the same. So between my ER and IR verbs, the yo, tú, usted, and ustedes forms are all the same. What's different are my nosotros and vosotros forms. So that will help you when you're remembering how to conjugate these verbs, that most of them are the same, minus the nosotros and vosotros. That is how we conjugate ER and IR verbs in Spanish.